William Dufour is one of a bunch of forwards that was named to the World Junior Championship camp squad for Team Canada. Now let's look at the competition that he's facing for a spot on the team at that tournament. Hit that subscribe button, don't miss a video. Also, go to Twitter, follow at TLOMitch, that's me. Don't miss any breaking information about Islanders prospects I have yet to cover on this channel. So Team Canada has named their camp roster for the 2022 World Junior Championship tournament in Red Deer, Alberta later this year, or beginning of next year, if you will. And William Dufour made the list. Now, he's really the only player that was in the Islanders prospect pool that we expected to really make the team. Tristan Lennox maybe could have got a mention, but with his injury and with Team Canada already being set in net, it's not really a surprise that he wasn't named. Now, William Dufour is in the running for a spot, but it's not a guarantee, right? This is a camp. This isn't the defined roster just yet that is going to be competing at the tournament. So who is he competing for a spot on Team Canada's World Junior Championship roster? Now, obviously, the list of forwards you can see here is quite long, but he's not going to be competing against all of those. Some of those are left wingers, some of those are centers. So what I did is I pulled all the righties, and I looked at it, and there's really kind of three guys that he's up against to make the roster. You have Luc Evangelista, Dylan Guenther, and Justin Surdif. Those are the three guys I feel that he's up against. So let's look at these three players and kind of compare and contrast them to what William Dufour offers to see if maybe he's got a spot or if it's an uphill climb for him. So when it comes to comparing Luc Evangelista with William Dufour, it's not really the same type of thing. Not only are they just different in terms of size, William Dufour is 6'3", whereas Luc is 6'11". The scoring is there and is pretty similar, but you have a different style of play in applying that type of shot, that type of production. Then you have Dylan Guenther, who's 6'2", 181, has 13 goals, 27 points on the year. This is basically Canada's version of Patrick Laine. And it's not exactly the same, but his defining trait is his shot. He has an NHL caliber shot already today. The production isn't necessarily identical, right? Like William Dufour has 18 goals on the year and 38 points, whereas Dylan Guenther has 13 goals, 27 points. It's not the same. Obviously different caliber leagues here, but he's got size, similar size, and he's more of a shooter, where William Dufour is a little bit more balanced in his play. But I think this is a direct competition for William Dufour here in Dylan Guenther. I think that Dylan Guenther is a lock to make the team just because he's got that shot. But if he's already got a spot, you can see Luc Evangelista also making the team just because production and the fact that he's a playmaker, so different style of play. Now you've reduced the lines that William Dufour can be on to 2 from the 4. Then you have Justin Surdif, who's 5'11", 172, 8 goals, 24 points on the year. His playing style is pretty comparable, I should say, to William Dufour. They're not the greatest skaters. They're good offensive players. Their defense is okay. But what William Dufour has that Justin Surdif does not is, well, you got the goals, right? He's got another 10 goals on Surdif this year. He's also got size. Remember, William Dufour is 6'3". Justin Surdif is 5'11". It's just not the same type of player. You've got the output with William Dufour and you've got the size. And Canada likes to play a heavy, hard style of hockey. William Dufour can do that, even if it's just on a third line role. So I think that William Dufour could make this team, and his more direct competition is probably going to be Justin Surdif. Those guys will probably be battling for that third line spot, maybe even fourth line spot on Team Canada. Whereas I think Dylan Guenther and Luc Evangelista are probably going to slot into line 1, line 2. And then you have to factor in all of the centers that the Canadians have. And they have a lot of them, more than they'll need to slot in on those 4 lines. So you have to imagine some of those guys are going to go to the wing, taking spots from wingers like William Dufour. Just look at Scott Wheeler's projected Canadian lineup. On the right side, he's got Neighbors, Guenther, Surdif, Bourgault. He doesn't have William Dufour anywhere near that lineup. So you can see that William Dufour, while he's tearing up the QMJHL, he's not necessarily a lock for Team Canada. And yes, Scott Wheeler isn't making the lineup himself, but he's a well-informed person with a well-informed opinion, making a well-informed projection here, and William Dufour isn't on there. I can't fault him for that. I want Dufour to play, obviously, as an Islanders fan, but it seems that he's not really the first choice guy to play in the lineup. Thank you for following. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And if you have, thank you, thank you, thank you.